Yeah.
Okay, when you want, you can start.
Okay, so my name is Jan. I am from Magdeburg and I'm in 11th grade. And I go to the Ökumenisches Domgymnasium in Magdeburg. And yes, today I wanted to answer some questions that we got for the IMAILE program. And yeah, so we can start.
Okay, and your name is?
Hey, my name is Philip. I am from the same city and from the same school, and I want to answer some questions from for Amigo STEM too.
Okay, so just start with the first one, the first block of question, Jan.
All right. So wait, I have the questions here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first question was: is the first page of Amigo you have some graphics and statistics about motivation, social activity, effort? Do you like it? So first off, I have to say that yeah, the graphics and the statistics about the motivations are really great. So yeah, it's for me it's great because it's well structured. So it looks good. So it looks pretty well, and so it motivates you to do some stuff like with the Amigo Sim program. And yeah, that's what I really like about it.
Okay, thank you very much. How do you want the question and then Philip and then you move for the second? Yeah, okay.
We're going to
Welche Frage war das? Du hast. Wow, welche jetzt? Block 2 oder
Block
was?
1.
Block 1. Aha. Oh, wow, so langer Satz jetzt. Yes, I like the first page of Amigo and the statistics too, because it shows you your learn effort and what you did for the learning and what you have to do and what you have to concentrate on and what you can make better, of course. And that's why I like it, and it's very helpful, I think.
Well, move for the second. You are professional, both.
Oh, okay, right. Thank you.
Absolutely, the best, amazing interview, really great.
Okay.
Jan.
Okay, so the second question was: did you use the communication tools, social networks, Messenger, etc.? Do you think it's useful to communicate with other students and teachers? Do you think that Amigo helps you to share the knowledge with your colleges? Yeah, communication, like, it wasn't really a big thing for me because we used to work separate.
Sorry, remember to tell, yes, when I used Amigo, the communication tool, because we cut all this, okay?
All right. Yes, when I used the Amigo communication tool, I thought for myself that it wasn't very helpful for me because I was working separate on the tasks, for example. So yeah, actually the working with the social network wasn't like important. But I think when you use it like properly for the things like to communicate with your students, if you really want to use it, be a helpful thing because like you have the opportunity to communicate with your teachers and students. So like it's a feature I would like really keep in the program. But yeah, like I haven't used it that much, but if you really need it, it's actually helpful.
Okay, thank you. You have the same opinion or different?
Yeah,
I've got the same opinion. Almost,
okay,
yes.
so if the answer is the same, don't need to answer both. If you have the same, more or less the same answer, you can also split the answer between one and the other, or so on. Okay, we move to the other one. So if you see that there are two answers to similar, just one, and then the other answer to the next, and so on.
Yeah. Okay, so the block 3, well, that was questions about the e-portfolio. And I have to say that when I used the Amigo STEM e-portfolio, well, I think that was the best thing about Amigo STEM because like that was pretty great to yeah, share your things in the portfolio that you could really show like things for your students and your teachers. So you didn't have to use like real programs, for example, like PowerPoint or nº3, like which are also like showing programs where you can share like things, some datas or like things like that, or files. And yeah, so I have to say Portfolio was like really the best thing about it, and that is totally a feature I really appreciate the creators created.
Thank you, because I designed the portfolio, so thank you very much.
Yeah. Great job, great job.
Thank you very much. So Philip, what do you think?
I think the IMAILE e-portfolio is a very cool thing. I really like to design my e-portfolio and show other people what I like to do in my free time, for example, or what my hobbies are. And yes, I think it's a great thing, and you could keep it forever in your program, I think.
Thank you very much. Do you think it could be useful, just imagine, in the future for university, for work, because one of the goals is to try to make it useful, not just for school. So what do you think?
Yes, I think it's a similar thing for universities, because it's like a great opportunity to share files. Like you can keep more files in one, so you don't have to look it up or separate, but you have it like structured in one like application, if you say it like that. So if a student, for example, in the university wants to show something, or even a teacher, so he has like yeah, great opportunity to show it like to all the people, and yeah, doesn't have to like mess things up because he has to look it up separate, and yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So we move for the other. Do we have other answers?
Yes. So blog 4 was: did you receive any alert by Amigo? Do you remember which one? Was it useful for you? Why? Solve the lessons, exercises, etc.
Yeah, this is an important question. So
yeah, I didn't receive any alerts. I don't know why, but I didn't really understand like which alert it was, because it was, for example, like when you have a problem, I think, with some.
It's like when you make some mistake in the exercises, or if you need, and sometimes the alert is like, be careful, you make too much mistake, look better your content, or ask to your teacher, or ask to these colleagues that makes better.
Oh yeah. One thing I remember when I used Amigo, that I've got alert, for example, that I worked too long on one task. So I had to say that this was pretty interesting, because I sat there like was working on the task, and then there came the alert that I'm taking pretty long, and it asked me if I need help or something. That was a pretty fun thing, and yeah, like it's yeah, it's totally, you can keep it in, but maybe you could do a thing like that you have longer distances in time, like between the alerts. Like if you set because maybe it's longer tasks, so if you're sitting there for half an hour on a task and you want to answer it, you don't need to alert, because maybe the task just takes this long, like, and you could like maybe do it so that you can yeah, rethink it, that you how long the distances between the alerts are, or that you can, yeah, and for example, that there are settings like where you can do it or change it.
Yes, nice to know it. And you, Philip, do you receive something, or do you have some idea about?
I have to say I don't remember getting any alerts. Eventually, like I got some, but I don't remember actually. But I think it's a great idea to show that you are working too long on one exercise or something. That is pretty helpful, I think. And yes.
Okay, just in terms of general, not just Amigo, do you think what do you think about the analytic in education? Maybe you don't think nothing, but you have not posed this question, but you think in general the analytic can be helpful, or is too much, is not really helpful in general, statistics, analytics? Sometimes we have too much information, maybe it's too much, or maybe, I don't know, really, your opinion is important.
No, I think that it depends on the student, because, like, for example, if you have one student that doesn't really care about this analytics and like doesn't really want to make some changes, or doesn't need these changes, he, for example, doesn't need it. But if you have a different student, like someone that really could use analytics because he wants to know his weakness or strength, so for him it's like really helpful, I would say.
So you imagine that this can be helpful to understand your strengths, weaknesses, and so on, and just to improve yourself, for example.
Yes, of course. So that's for me, like the analytics could really, help the students. It's like a great thing for that, of course.
Okay. So do you have other answer there, or it's?
We have block 5, and that's. Do you think that Amigo could help you understand your weaknesses and strengths?
Okay, just okay, just talk about this again. We have more.
Okay, so I think I have to go back here to the analytics, like, or the alerts, where you can say, that this really helps you to understand your weaknesses or strengths, because it reminds you of the things you did in the past, or it reminds you of the things you did in the program. So for this, it's of course very helpful, and I think that Amigo STEM is a great program. It's better than the programs we had in the past on the school, and I think it should be invented everywhere in the world because it helps students really much. Yeah.
Thank you. You'll be contracted. Just when you finish school, I will contract you. I will.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just the same opinion. I think it's a very great program, better than any I tested before. Even though we tested 1 or 3 more, I think 1, 2, 3 more.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great program.
Yeah,
the best, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So, Philip, did you use? Okay. Do you have other questions there, or is it? No. Do you have others?
I think that were all the questions for the first block, because you had like related to challenge block questions, or related to increase student STEM, or support personalized learning approach. Yeah, and so we have like.
Just remember, you don't have to answer all the questions of each block. It's just like one answer per block, more or less, using some part of the question. So just maybe we go through some of the blocks that you find more interesting. Which one you find more interesting there?
So one question of the block that I thought was really interesting is: do you think that the lessons and contents provided with Amigo motivates you, or if it's more fun?
Okay.
The thing where I said it's really more fun because you have like all those.
Remember to say, okay, I think working with Amigo and the lesson is motivating and fun. Yeah.
So when I worked with Amigo, I found really interesting that you have like all these graphics, and that it was all well structured, and that was the thing why it was for me like fun, because you had all these tasks that you could work on, and it was all well structured. And so the best thing about it was that you had different answers to different questions to answer, or that you had, for example, videos there that you could make some things in the e-portfolio. And so my answer to this is actually that the structure was fun, because I didn't know any other program that was so good in it. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Philip, do you think the kind of media is enough in Amigo? We have to improve. For example, you find interesting to have video, picture, and so on. You think it's enough? It's a good choice, or we have to add something? I don't know. The variety of, no, this is in general about the content. Do you think the kind of content are good? The content we provided into Amigo, the lessons you did, etc. in general are okay, are rich in terms of media? Yeah,
so he wants that I answer because he doesn't really know how to answer. But Yeah, so that thing with the content was that yeah, it was everything was really good because yeah, yeah, how could you say it?
The if content, you don't worry, just move for another. Yeah, move to the other question you like it.
Okay. Did you work with portably? Do you like it? Why? Okay, so like the second blocks we had here, block 2, what do you think about the medals, badges on the platform, and if you worked with portably?
Yeah.
And, yeah, okay, so the medal badges, that's the thing again where I think it depends on the student. Like there's a variety of students that thinks it's good, but there are also people that think that they don't need it. So yeah, I think you could keep it in because it looks nice. And yeah, but so I didn't really use it or looked at the medals, like, but it was a fun thing that it was in there. And did you work with portably? Portably was the presentation program.
Yeah, exactly. The one with the squares that you move and so on.
Yeah, so we didn't really work with portably in the class. We did it only one time, I think, and it was last year or like the last grade that we were in. And yeah, so here people were more like, okay, they used more PowerPoint, I think, because it was more improved, of course, because I think the portably was more like a beta, like, but if you improve it, I think it has some really good strength in the things, for example, that you can put in graphics, or that you could put in the pictures or the frames. So you had something like a collage, and that is thing that PowerPoint or other presentation programs didn't have. And here I have to say that is a really good strength for the portability program, because you don't have to make it like physically with paper, or that you have like to print all the pictures, but you can do it virtually. You can just put it in the portability program, and yeah, that was actually a great multimedia thing that, for example, PowerPoint or Prezi doesn't have.
Okay, thank you. Yes, in fact, it's a beta version, or it's a beta version portability now. It's just we experimented with you, just
okay.
Okay. So there are other parts that you want. There is one question that maybe is not there, but just try to imagine for students that can have some difficulties to learn or to language. Do you think there are some parts of Amigo that can be more useful? I know it's not difficult, but just try to imagine this.
Okay, so I think that the Amigo Sim program was actually made in 3 parts. I think there's a Spanish version, English version, and the German version,
and Finnish version too.
And the Finnish version. And I think if you work, for example, with the English version or with the Spanish version, you can actually learn those languages, because when I read the German things in the program, for example, when I had the tasks there that were, of course, made in German, that it was pretty easy, that the tasks were pretty easy made. So I think that if you have those basic words, for example, in Spanish or in English, you can work with them in the English or Spanish version. So you have like pretty easy tasks in English or Spanish, and yeah, you can learn with it. So I think
it's a support for to learn languages. You can
support for learn language, but of course you can like make there in other content. So you can put in, for example, I don't know, Spanish things yourself or English things yourself, and so improve your own language skills.
Okay, so okay, there is others. I think it's there are other questions that you answer, or it's okay.
I think that were the main questions, and
yeah, I think so. That's if you want to add something now, the free moment, the party moment.
So only in conclusion, I would say that it's a great program, and we really appreciate that you created it, and I hope that in the future you make some progress with it and that it gets invented in different countries. Right. Wow. Thank you.
So thank you to you to stay here. So have a nice day, a super year. Okay, thank you very much to both.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Is there a net there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you both.
Wo?
Raum D, Geografie plus.